New York City had recently released a ban on discriminating against black people with their natural hair. Because ever since we've been here in this nation, our natural hair has always have been an issue to the white supremacist society. They worry about us so much that they will even worry about the hair to grow out of our head. A lot of people who don't know what they're talking about, that want to attack and go at a lot of the women for wearing straight hair or wigs or whatever, right? Most of them don't even know the history of that either. But I'm going to get to some of that a little later, because there's a certain commentary I made that's going to justify and back this story up. So despite a new enacted law meant to crack down on hair discrimination in New York State, more than a dozen Catholic schools across the city have continued bias on natural braided hairstyles. Oh, the Catholics, that's interesting. But, you know, hair shouldn't be the Catholics' problem. Those priests that do a whole lot of fooling around with children, I think that should be the problem. Now, I said this is on the account of a loophole allowing faith-based institutions to continue the biased practice targeting male students, most of them black, according to the New York Daily News. Now, the law signed by Governor Andrew Cuomo, which is a Democrat, in July, protects students and employees from race-based discrimination of natural hairstyles. It said just this month, the statute saw an Upper East Side salon slapped with a $75,000 fine and mandatory bias training after discouraging its workers from wearing natural hairstyles. And so, however, the same law has had little impact on Catholic classrooms. Now, I said a caveat in New York State's older Dignity for All Students Act. It says states nothing in this article shall apply to private, religious, or denominational educational institutions. It said while the city's human rights law also exempts any religious corporation incorporated under educational law, it said these legal loopholes have helped religious schools steer clear of the new city and state rules, allowing them to impose any restrictions that they like. Now, that should be amended, because if it's a law, then why you get to discriminate? You get what I'm saying? Just like I don't like that situation where people have this, well, you have a constitution, but yet, oh, it's a private business. They can do what they want. Either we're going to abide by the constitution or the laws of the land, or we're not. Why are we exempting people from following the law or the constitution? That's where you have a lot of issues and problems. And they do that so they can discriminate, because some of the laws they have on the books are actually decent by the letter, but they have so many loopholes so they can discriminate like this one. Now, what I will say to black people is this. Why are you sending your children to a Catholic school? Do you know the Catholics was the one that sanctioned slavery? That when they first started slavery, they went to the priest and the Vatican to get the blessing to enslave our African ancestors? I don't understand why any black person is part of no Catholic church when they are the main ones that greenlit slavery. I'm just saying, I've seen other stories where other black children have been discriminated against in Catholic schools with their hair. Why are you still there? I wouldn't want my kids nowhere near that situation when you got that priest issue. Come on, man. No, black folks, you know, we need to create our own schools. We have the ability to create our own school. You paying money to this Catholic school, well, you can take that same money, get together with the people in your city and create schools. And they got good schools that's black in New York. So we need to start doing that. These people gonna always discriminate against our hair. They've been doing it ever since they came into contact with us. Why do we put ourselves in that situation? And especially our children. If you want to endure that, that's one thing. But to me, my child is precious. My children are precious. If I don't have to subject them to that, I'm not going to. Now, they said that the anti-discrimination rules haven't been enforced in at least 14 of the New York City Catholic schools. A student handbook from the Christ the King School in the Bronx explicitly states no cultural preferences will be allowed, such as boys with braided hair. Okay, the ban on boys' braids was recently highlighted in a Daily News report after Queen's mother, LaVonna Batts, took legal action against her child's school, Immaculate Conception Catholic Academy, when he told her to remove her 9-year-old's braids or he wouldn't be allowed in school. Now, the sister said she was infuriated that now she had to do this because of something like that of hair. Once again, stop enrolling African-American children into Catholic schools. They sanction slavery, okay? They owe reparations too, the Catholics. They owe it. We start talking about how the Catholic Church owes reparations. Now, Andrew Cuomo and the mayor, Bill de Blasio, also blasted schools' policy unacceptable and vowed to take legal action. They said the controversy still isn't resolved. However, Assemblywoman Tremaine Wright, who is appealing to the New York Archdiocese to step in. Now, is the Catholics going to do nothing? No, they're not going to do anything. But I thought they're supposed to be Christians. I thought they're supposed to, respect what God creates, right? And God created black people. And the hair that come out of their head is what God gave black people. So why are you telling black people that's God's children that something's wrong with something that God created that came out of their head? But you see this issue. Now let me go to a video that I made on the Phillip Scott Show channel. If you're not subscribed to the Phillip Scott Show channel, make sure you subscribe. I also put a post in the community tab. Make sure you check that all the time to give you all the channels that we operate in. We have African Diaspora News Insider. Every day you see me post here, I'm going to post news stories there as well. So make sure you subscribe to that one. And also the Phillip Scott Show. All my channel links is going to be in the description box, a pinned comment, whatever is easier for you. Go there, subscribe, and click the notification bell, select all. But I made a video about that bad baby cash me outside girl, okay? And she had got some box braids, so some sisters and some other brothers too had issues with that. And she responded back, well, y'all black females be wearing Peruvian hair and Brazilian hair, and y'all don't have straight hair. Y'all trying to basically wear white people hair. That sort of argument, right? But you see how black people are treated with their natural hair. Then I had, black people always walking around here talking about code, being on code, right? If you're truly about a code, then right, wrong, or in between, you never side with another group about your people. You never do that. You have the attitude like this. I don't care if it's a truth, half truth, wrong, whatever it may be. I will talk about my community and my people about the issues that they have. You have no right to open your mouth about anything that happens with black people, hair, etc., especially when your people caused the issue, like in this story, okay? Historically. That really bothered me, that attitude of black folks. Oh, she's right. She's right. No group agrees with you about you talking about their people. You have Asians agreeing with you, say, those black people right about Asians. Arabs don't agree with you. Whites don't agree with you. Nobody agree with you. You're the only group that will sit up there and side with other people against your own. Like you're going to get some sort of prize for doing that. But yet stories like this come out constantly about our precious black children being discriminated against by people like bad babies, people, right? Cashmere side, whatever you want to call it, people. But you don't want to address that. That's why I say y'all need to think a little bit. Some black folks are so anti-black, you can't wait to side against black people. And I know that a lot of that Stockholm syndrome, a lot of you have self-hate issues, but not one day I'm going to side with other groups about black people. I don't care how right they are, I'm just not doing it. Because they got their own issues and problems need to solve. And I'm not going over there trying to talk to them about their situation, so don't come and talk about ours. When you are the cause of the hair discrimination upon black children, black women, and black men here in America. You had to have a law to say it's okay to have the hair to come out your head. You could actually wear it. But you look at, they don't have no laws about white women and white men or any other non-black group. They don't treat them different, but only black people. That's how I tell you how much hate it is for the black man and black woman here in America. This is what we endure. That's why if you're going to stay quote unquote on code, then you never side with a group against your people for no reason. None at all. Because if you siding with other groups against black people, I don't care how right, wrong, or whatever they are. You look at Peter Liang, you remember that story? Where they shot a Kai Gurley, all those Asians were protesting. Peter Liang was 100% wrong. The Asians got on code for Peter Liang. They didn't discuss with us about how wrong he was, or yeah, he was wrong. They didn't care about that. They supported Peter Liang. paid off Ken Thompson, because that's what they did, and Peter Liang got a slap on the wrist because the Asians are on code with their people. Black folks always talking about on code, but what exposes you not being on code is the moment somebody Caucasian say something about black people, and they could be quote unquote right about it, and you side with them. Look at what's causing this hair situation. It isn't black people causing this hair situation or the discrimination. It isn't them. So that's the last thing I want to see from anybody. You side with any other group about us when you look at what's causing these issues and problems. Same thing, I'm gonna keep saying it, in the continent, you don't deal with these issues and problems about your hair, because everybody got a hair look like you. They do. That's why I tell people you need a break sometime, because everything about you is so micromanaged. Everything. I mean, the hair out your head, laws got to be put into place for that. You can't wear certain clothes, you can't talk, you can't walk. There's always an issue with you. That's why I tell you, Africa is my place to escape all that, because they don't know nothing about no racism. Everybody black. That's why I tell you, coming up in May 20th through 27th, have a trip going to Senegal. You guys need to sign up for that. Take a break from the racism. Instead of giving these corporations that don't care about black people at all your money for this Christmas holiday, give the gift of a trip to the African continent, where you can go to Senegal and the Gambia, 2 countries you can go to, and you'll be going to Africa Day. And you can get some history, what really happened and how we were taken from the continent to this land that we're dealing with things here today. But you got to sign up, because if you don't sign up, it's a $500 deposit. The link will be in the pinned comment. We're going with Key and Tiffany with World Views. But you can go there with all the natural hair you want in Senegal and the Gambia. Nobody will look at you funny. Nobody's going to follow you. Nobody's going to call 911, anything. You will have a free time. And when Africa Day come, you're going to have just a good time. I want you to have that great time, and I definitely want to see you there. So make sure you go sign up, because those spots are going very fast, ladies and gentlemen. Got to go sign up. I want nobody saying later that you didn't have a chance to go to Senegal and Gambia. All the West Africa people that say, where's the trips to West Africa? This is your trip. But leave me a comment, let me know what you think about this particular story. But when it comes to, once again, the discrimination of black hair in America, this is old as America. We cannot side with other groups about our people. I don't care how right, wrong, or indifferent. Don't care. Never side with no other group about black people. You have to, quote unquote, be on code at all times. And I tell people this, I noticed that the test of your quote unquote being on code is when someone Caucasian say something to you about black people. Then we get to really see if you're going to talk to them like you say things to us. I just want you to think about that a little bit as we go into 2020, because I firmly believe in 2020, it's time to tighten up the reins on our whole community, tighten up on our culture, tighten up on what we do, for ourselves. It's totally time to tighten up in this decade so we can progress to the next level that we need to progress to in the future. But leave me that comment. Let me know what you think about this story.